And we are live. I know you had to wait an extra 5 minutes, but it's worth the wait. It's Liquidate All Assets. Dan Dibley, Daryl the Guru Johnson. It's episode 21, Goo. A lot of debate earlier which way you'd go. I know you're a Pirates fan, Clemente. 21, Frank Gore. Cliff Branch, RIP. Episode 21, what do you got for me?
This was a hard one, Dibs, and I appreciate it, but I'm going with since it's football season. Last time the Niners won, number 21, Deion Primetime Sanders was a part of it. So I'm going with Deion, plus what he's doing for the kids in college coaching. So I'll go with Deion. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's an upset. 21 Deion over 21 Frank Gore. I can't argue it. And that's just Daryl the Guru Johnson. That's how he does it. Well, up in the pod today, we've got some MLB picks for you for tonight. We've each got two college football games that we love. Thursday night, Sunday, Monday night, NFL football. We're looking at NFL futures, Ben Simmons, Andrew Wiggins, the usual golf and soccer Goo. It's a pretty huge week. We're getting close to October when stuff gets serious.
Dude, we're running out of time. There's so many things you can put your chicken on that we don't even have enough time to get to it. That's when you know it's ready to go.
Yeah, shout out Evan Giddings, E-Dog, who's the producer of Liquidate All Assets. Up in 2 minutes, a pick for tonight, Major League Baseball. But right now, we let you know that it's brought to you by the BetQL Network. If you're looking for sports betting content all day long, the BetQL Network is now available nationwide on the Odyssey mobile app and the website, over 10,000 homes, auto-connected devices, and at BetQLNetwork.com. It's wagertainment for every fan, morning, afternoon, and night betting angles throughout the day, insights from local and national experts, entertaining content to keep both casual and hardcore bettors engaged. Get sports betting tips from the best in the game. BetQL Network, streaming now on Odyssey. Goo, what do you say we start with a little Wednesday night Major League Baseball? I know you had a pick that you gave out on the air today, Steiny, Guru, and Dibs. What are you liking tonight in the Major League Baseball slate?
It's a big game that has meaning between the Blue Jays and Yankees, and I'm taking Garrett Cole to continue to keep his New York Yankees hot, and it's minus 120 on the run line. So Yankees over Blue Jays, Dibs by 2. I think it's going to happen. And again, the Yankees have come out of nowhere, and they're red hot, my friends. So that's the play early on for MLB.
You're thinking that the Yankees are a team that can make some noise now that they're in a pretty secure spot in the wild card, or are you starting to ride them a little bit harder now?
No doubt. And all of a sudden you think about the Rizzo and the Gallo moves and what the Yankees were supposed to be, Dibs, before they made those moves. It seemed like it's happening. And Stanton and Judge, they look like the giants that they are. They're a problem.
Yeah, I'm going to play a little game here of desperation baseball, and it's the Boston Red Sox, Goo, who's been on a pretty dramatic slide since they got swept over the weekend by the aforementioned the Yankees. We do our John Sterling all the time. I'm going to take Boston. It's a heavy favorite on the run line, minus 1.5 at Baltimore. They can't possibly lose to the Orioles again. I mean, they just can't. Nathan Eovaldi against Zach Lothar. I'm going with Boston. A little bit of a gut play. I don't love the price, but this is a game Boston needs desperately. So I'm going to take the Red Sox and give the 1.5.
And this is why I keep saying for the millionth time that baseball's like golf, Dibs. It's not the Orioles the Red Sox is playing. They're playing themselves, and they're stressed out. They grip the bat a little tighter. The pitchers, they can't make their ball break. But it's just amazing. They better get it together soon, or Toronto's going to catch their spot, get their spot. Or Seattle.
Yeah, and in case you're looking to beat the Cardinals, we talked about their 17-game win streak earlier on Steiny, Guru, and Dibs. Cardinals on the run line, plus 1.5. It's minus 180. Now, if you're looking on just the straight money line, what do you think about Adrian Hauser of the Brewers against Miles Mikolas? St. Louis no longer has anything to play for, Goo. Milwaukee money line, plus 102. Do they end the 17-game skid now that the Cardinals maybe have a little bit of a hangover?
You know what? I don't think they do, because conventional wisdom says that the Milwaukee would get them tonight. But I think the euphoria and everything, the aura that the Cardinals, the Redbirds, I'll call them that, Dibs, that they have, they're going to continue and buck the system and keep it going and add to that total tonight. So I'd go with St. Louis.
We appreciate all the comments coming in on StreamYard, especially Warren SF, who always somehow seems to comment before the podcast even starts. Yes, another week.
I was
baby.
tardy. I know.
Yeah, it's all right, Goo. And sometimes you got to make the people wait a little bit. And Brian McCammon, yes, Robert Freeman's always there for us. Palo Alto, is this Brian in Palo Alto, or maybe somebody taking on the persona of Brian in Palo Alto? And of course, Camus, a man who's made a little bit of chicken through the pod. Yes, we will get the chicken, Camus. And of course, he loves the golf picks. We're back at it with the Sanderson Farms, Goo, coming up. So later in the pod. And of course, I did give you the USA, given 2.5 points and a comfortable Ryder Cup win. So we're feeling pretty good about our golf picks, Goo. But let's turn our attention, though, first to the big one coming up in the National Football League. It's the first game of Week 4. Thursday night football, Goo. Jacksonville getting 7.5 against Cincinnati on the road at the Bengals, and over under 45.5. What do you think about the Thursday night game?
I'm hammering Burrow and what Cincinnati's selling. They got weaponry, nice receivers, and they got a quarterback. I don't want to say, I'll slow down, Dibs, destined for the Hall of Fame, and he looks right. And I can't remember the last big game in Cincy, not quarterback by the redhead rifle, Andy Dalton. I think this is going to be a blowout. And I say that to say I like what I'm seeing a little bit from Lawrence, but they got too many holes on that team. And Cincinnati, the Bengals, will win going away. So the play for me is Cincinnati minus 7.5, Dibs.
I like it. I'm a little bit more leaning toward the under in that game. These Thursday night games, as I mentioned last week, bad offense.
And you hit it.
Yeah, bad offenses on a short week. Now, Cincinnati's offense is not bad. Jacksonville's been struggling. 45.5 is a little bit of a small number, but I'm still going to go under the 45.5. And another prop, Goo, that I like, it's Joe Burrow. It's a two-way prop. Joe Burrow to have 2 or more touchdowns and a Cincinnati win. It's minus 169, so it's pretty heavily favored. But I kind of like what you're saying about Joe Burrow. So I'm going to play Burrow 2 or more touchdowns to the win. Just win, baby. Al Davis at minus 169.
I'm going to say this. I like it, and you were the only one last week to ride with Cincy on the road. Was that more bad old Ben, not Big Ben, old Ben and the Steelers just down the toilet? What's going on? Because Cincy shocked me, and you hit it. You were one of the rare few to pick Cincy on the road in the all whites.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of the changing of the guard. And you're right. Where in SF we did call the under. I think that this year is more about Cincy and Cleveland and less about Baltimore and Pittsburgh in the AFC North. And it's really kind of a changing of the guard. Cleveland with Baker Mayfield has been terrific as well. And, wearing USF, he points out the over is 8-1 on prime time, but the one loss we gave you last week here on Liquidate All Assets. Goo, what do you say we transfer over to a little college football?
Now, this is personal because I told you and Steiny last week that I'm a big Jim Harbaugh guy, and Michigan's gotten off to a good start. They take on Wisconsin. Michigan's on the road, but Michigan looked bad. They started out fast against Rutgers at home, at Michigan, the big house, and didn't even cover. So I look for them to bounce back. And they're playing a Wisconsin team, Dibs, that hasn't covered the spread but one time. They've turned the ball over 9. Michigan has 4 turnovers. And I just feel like the good start, because it's all about W's to the coach and the players, that Michigan has gotten off to. Jim Harbaugh handle business, and they're getting 1.5 points. So they win this game at Wisconsin easy. That's the play Saturday morning. Go with the Wolverines. And if he loses this, I'm finished with Jim.
Well, I'm already finished with Jim because I'm going the other way on this one, quite frankly. I don't trust Michigan. That offense, run, punt, is about as unimaginative as possible. And I think Wisconsin's a team better than their record at 1-2. And the spread is only 1.5 points. So you're giving me a home team at Camp Randall in a Wisconsin team that likes to control the ball against a Michigan team that largely does the same. I like what Graham Mertz has shown at times for Wisconsin at quarterback. So I'm going to take Wisconsin and lay the 1.5 at home. I don't believe in Michigan as a 4-0 team.
I love when we go against each other. I'm telling you, Jim's building something. I think this is the year. And for whatever reason, if they go ahead and just squander what I deem a good start, Dibs, I'm finished with them. But I think they win this division game and go on the road and get it.
It's Liquidate All Assets with Guru and Dibs, brought to you by BetQL, the BetQL Network.com. It's wagertainment for every fan, morning, afternoon, and night. Stream the BetQL Network right now. Well, not right now because you're watching this, thankfully, but as soon as you can on Odyssey. Goo, I'm going to give you one from college football. Right. It actually is the next one up chronologically, and I'm going to make a pick in the old wagon wheel game, Goo. BYU at Utah State. It's a rivalry game, and I like the rivalry as it sits, especially with BYU coming in. They're given 8.5 to Utah State. BYU is 8-0 against the spread over the last 3 years against teams that possess it fewer than 28 minutes a game. Utah State is a team that likes to score quick. They don't possess the ball for long. BYU eats these teams up. Additionally, BYU's beaten 2 ranked teams, Arizona State. They beat Utah, and they also beat a very good South Florida team. I think BYU is too much for Utah State. 8.5 is not enough. I'm giving the Cougs on Friday night and laying the 8.5 in the old wagon wheel game.
Don't call me a degenerate. I love that, and I love the Friday night games, Dibs. I love the Thursdays and the Wednesdays and the Tuesdays, but yeah, it's just something about those Friday games. And I'm with you. I like what BYU is cooking, and I think they cover.
Nice. It's Liquidate All Assets, Guru and Dibs on 95.7 The Game normally, but right now it's a podcast near you. It's episode 21. Goo, what else do you have from college? I know you have a second pick.
Every time I say this is it, Michael Jackson, but this is the lock of the weekend. Florida and Kentucky. I'm taking the over. It's at 55.5, and Dibs, they're averaging combined, both teams, 67 points. And I've been watching college football thus far. My biggest takeaway, ain't much defense being played. So I think this thing goes over. It goes over early. And again, the 67 points combined by both teams. Kentucky, 440 yards they're averaging. The Florida, 540. That's almost 1,000 between the two. Going to be a lot of points, and it's only 55.5, Dibs. I think this is I know this is my lock of the week. Bet the over on Florida and Kentucky. And the game is ranked 13, so they may score that themselves.
Yeah, you're hoping for a blowout there. Florida's favored by 8.5, and the teams combined are averaging 67. The only thing that scares me there is that Florida's defense has not been terrible. Florida's done a nice job of taking the ball away. Kentucky with 11 giveaways on the year. It's pretty good if Kentucky can score. I'm a little concerned that Florida's defense, though, might be the prevailing unit on Saturday.
Give me a pick six, too. That's the best when you go over. However, I don't care who gets in the end zone. It could be the defense, but yeah, just give me a smorgasbord of points, Dibs.
I love it, Goo, and that's when you're betting an over, early points, defensive points, you got to love to see all of it. Deep checks in with a question about Burrow's line in the Cincinnati game. Yeah, if it changes to 2.5 and the price comes down, am I still leaning over? Not so much. I like the 2 touchdowns. 2.5 means you need 3. That's a little scary. So that to me would be the break point as far as where I would either make the play or not make the play on the Cincinnati game.
Yeah, and I'll say this about Cincinnati, and kudos to him, Dibs. Burrow has weaponry. I mean, a couple guys, a guy he played college ball with, but they're making noise in the air. But I'm with you. The 2.5 is scary, but I can see Burrow. I don't want to say I feel like he's already had his coming out party, but last year, he got injured. But Dibs, I can see him going 4th of July here on national TV just to let everybody know. Just like you said, Big Ben is on the way out, and I'm here.
Yeah, and Jacksonville is a team that is struggling, and already the talk of where Urban Meyer might coach next as he starts to really show his true colors as maybe a college coach first and not so much of a pro.
Real quick on that, Dibs. I'm going NBA, all the hotshot college coaches, Saban in the NFL that don't have success when they leave college to the pros. is Jimmy Johnson the only one? Who else comes? I guess Harbaugh hasn't had it because he ain't done nothing in Michigan. But Jimmy Johnson, to me, is the one that did it in college and did it in the pros. It's not a lot.
Now, Pete Carroll, you would have to say, was able to – he did it at USC via Reggie Bush and the Heisman, as I try to get my hand to the camera. But, he was able to win championships at both levels. Goo, I'm going to give you one more college because I do want to get to the NFL slate beyond the Thursday night game. We got some good Sunday action and obviously Monday Night Football with the Vegas Raiders. I'm going to give you Buffalo, Goo, plus 6.5, taking on Western Michigan. Buffalo is 10-1 against the spread at home over the last 3 years. And their loss earlier this year came to a ranked Coastal Carolina. It was a very close game. It was a quality loss. Buffalo at home. I don't know if you've ever been to upstate New York. Not a pleasant place to play, no matter who you are. I like Buffalo. You give me 6.5. I'm taking Buffalo. This is a BetQL special.
Love it.
If you want more college picks of this caliber, make sure you go to betql.com or, of course, stream the BetQL network at Odyssey. But I'm taking Buffalo in the 6.5.
Let me give you this nugget about that pick. They're 10-1 in their last 11 against the spread. So, I mean, I'm just saying that means something, Buffalo. So good by you.
And at home, 10-1 at home against the spread. So we're taking Buffalo. Goose on the over, Florida, Kentucky.
Yep.
Goose on Michigan. I like Wisconsin. And then the other pick that was given out, BYU. That's a Friday night special, minus 8.5 at Utah. Well, Goo, it's time for week 4 in the NFL. We got a full slate of games. What do you like on Sunday from the NFL card?
It is. I'm going to start with our very own San Francisco 49ers and Seattle Seahawks, Dibs. And I just don't know what to make of the Niners' injuries and, to the running back position, to the secondary. And I'm nervous. So I'm looking at Seattle right now after they've blown 2 leads. They come in here limping, but there's just something about that uniform and Russell Wilson to where they have the ability to play the Niners tough. Technically, I could say this when the Niners season ended up in Seattle. Jimmy got hurt, re-aggravated the high ankle sprain. I'm going with the Seahawks to win this game. I just don't see the help coming or the reinforcements for the Niners, Dibs, and that's what scares me about the Niners. I feel like they're staring 2-2 right down the barrel.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm going to stay off this game because to your point, I don't really know who the 49ers are right now. I'm not sure which Niner team. Will the real Niner team please stand up? Please stand up. I don't know if it's going to be the offensive line that can hold things up. Champ Ross likes the Seahawks plus the 3. If the Niners O-line can hold up and you can run the ball, the Niners should win this game. But right now, I'm not so sure about what the 49ers offensive line is and, whether or not they can have a consistent game.
Now, I'm with you, and I'll tell you what, they haven't even played a division game yet. So this is the first one, and I just feel like, Seattle has problems again, Dibs, but they know what they are, and they got the guys healthy enough to try to rectify them. The Niners don't, and now we're talking about Kittle with the hammy. I know he's going to go, but, Dibs, this could get ugly fast.
Yeah, and Deep in the comments saying he likes the DK Metcalf prop on the over. I don't even know what it is, but considering the secondary, Goo, that's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, and he has a good time against the Niners already, and he's just a walking mismatch. So I like that, and I like the thought process because unless you're telling me Eric Wright or Ronnie Lott's coming out of retirement, they need help fast and in a hurry, and then not to get Richard Sherman, to lose him to now he looks like Deion Sanders compared to what the Niners are running out. DK Metcalf on my fantasy team, I think he's going to have a big day.
Yeah, shout it out, Goo. Your fantasy team in need of a
2-1, baby.
Yeah, I'm also 2-1, and
I saw that.
Yeah, the show's doing pretty well so far. I'm just kind of padding here to see if I can pull up a DK Metcalf prop, but if I find it,
and I'm going to throw one more at you for Sunday, Dibs, if you don't mind.
Do it, and I'll look for this DK Metcalf.
I don't know what's going on in the city of Kansas City, but I still believe in Patrick Mahomes. And, they play backyard football, just throw it up and everything will work. Tyreek Hill, a catch it, or Kelsey. But they're on the road to Philly. And Philly, I'm out on Jalen Hurts. I don't think he's that guy. And the Chiefs are -7. I think this is going to be a 30-17 game, 37-17. So my play and lock of the weekend, Dibs, again, is Kansas City smarting after that loss, that home loss to the Chargers. They're going to beat the crap out of Philly.
Wow. I was thinking that same pick, but I just can't trust Kansas City right now.
Wow.
The way they've gone about losing these games, I'm just not willing to throw the chicken their way. And 7 is one of those dangerous numbers, where you're sitting on 7 and touchdown obviously is 7 points. And that feels a little bit more like push country to me. I'll tell you what I am hot on though. And it's going to be a total. I'm going to go over 51.5 Cleveland and Minnesota. If you look at these two offenses, both quarterbacks playing very confidently. Minnesota with Jefferson, he's found an additional weapon to go alongside Adam Thielen. Yeah. I think Cleveland with their great ground game has been terrific as well. So I'm going over 51.5 Cleveland and Minnesota.
I like that one. And you look what Minnesota did last week with Seattle. Kirk Cousins, say what you want about him, Dibs. 8 touchdowns to no picks going into week 4. He's getting it done. And you got Baker on the other side. It'll be fireworks.
I love it, Goo. And we do want to thank Livermore Casino for joining us as an official sponsor of Liquidate All Assets at Livermore Casino on your social media. Of course, head on out to 3571 First Street in Livermore to see the good people at Livermore Casino. Goo, before we get to Sunday night and the Monday night, as we give you locks of the week, I got to ask you about the big game. Tampa Bay on the road at New England. What do you think about that game?
Oh, this is blowout city. And, I'm getting new information, and, that's my saying. I react to new information. I always felt bad for Belichick, but now I'm finding out that he may have been behind. Ross Tucker helped us out, shortchanging Brady in regard to the chicken. I think Tampa Bay, after losing and not getting embarrassed, but, L.A. took it to them. And now I think they wake up from their hibernation because Dallas almost beat them at home. And Mac Jones, not playing bad. It's growing pains, Maggie Seaver. But Tampa Bay's going to win this going away, Dibs. I think they're going to win this by 10 points or more, so I'm betting Tampa Bay.
Wow, I think the spread is, 7.5 last I saw?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're willing to take the road team.
Those don't scare me. I get you on the last game. Dude, you look at some of these scores, Dibs, all of them ain't going down to the wire. And what do we know? New Orleans blew out this same New England team. And now you got Brady trying to, right or wrong. He should still be in that uniform. And they're coming off a loss. And Antonio Brown will be back off the COVID list. That was a big deal that last week, that they didn't have him. No excuses. I just see blowout city written all over this.
Yeah, 6.5 is where it opened. And I'm kind of with you on that one. I would like to see New England rise up and be better, but it doesn't seem that this New England team is the same team we're used to.
Right.
C-Los 22S giving me props. I appreciate that. Remember, all of this is just wagertainment. We're not actually getting real chicken on there. I mean, absolutely, we would not. Goo, let's turn our attention to Monday Night Football. Yeah. Raiders are getting 3.5 in L.A. It's a homecoming for the Raiders by way of Oakland. What do you think about the Raiders getting points at the Chargers?
You know what, Dibs? The Raiders have been living right, and I know there was a pass interference that should have been called for Jacoby Brissett on a deep ball that would have gave the Raiders their first loss. I just think the Chargers got something, and they got a quarterback and they got an identity on the defensive side of the ball, but yet they lost at home to Dallas. But that big win on the road against Kansas City, they got momentum. And the Raiders, to me, they're 3-0, but they could be 1-2. And I know my friends and family love the Raiders. I'm born in the town, but I think the Raiders lose to get their first loss of the season by Justin Herbert. This is going to be a great game. It's SoFi. I'm going with the LA Chargers.
I like it. I agree with everything except the pick. I do think it'll be a
Oh,
great game. I do think it'll be close, but you're giving me 3.5, and this feels like a game-winning field goal kind of a ball game. So I like the 3.5. If it was 2.5, I might go the other way. I'm going to take the Raiders, 3 in the hook. And, I'm starting
4-0, Dibs.
I'm going Brenda K-Star. I still believe. I'm starting to fall in love with this Raider team. And, I'm willing to take the 3.5. It's not like the Chargers are an established dynasty. They're a team kind of in the same spot. Both these teams have a lot to prove.
Yeah.
And you give me 3.5, and I'm willing to take that 3.5.
Let me tell you, let me ask you this. What did you make? What was, if one word of that win on the road, even though Kansas City offensively turned the ball over 4 times? Who cares? They were playing the Chargers. You don't feel like that was like a substance win to where now they got some momentum talking about the Chargers at home Monday night, Herbert sitting in that pocket. Raider defense been better, but they still can be had.
It's impressive, but I still – part of that is I don't believe Kansas City is what we thought they once were. So it's still an impressive win. I mean, you beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead. That's never easy, but I'm still kind of waiting and seeing on the completion of this Charger story. That's why it's such a fascinating game on Monday night.
Real quick, Dibs, you got to ask me what BYOG on my hat stands for.
Oh, tell me, Goo. I meant to ask you, darn it.
My boy, Union City's own Phil Handy, coach of the Lakers, trainer, be your own GOAT. So, instead of us, he's the GOAT, be your own GOAT. So I thought I'd rock it for you. Yeah.
I love it. And you got some, I'm sure there's a little kickback you're getting, a little promotional consideration.
This is just all love, dude. No kickback, yeah.
See, if your boy can't get a hat, obviously I need
you had
one.
A beanie on half the show. You was looking real townish. I liked it.
Yeah, a little cold, actually. Fall is here. Your boy getting a little chilly with no hair.
Got you.
We're going to get to some PGA picks, and I'll give you a couple in the Premier League as well, Goo, as we get ready for the weekend of sports. But first, NFL Offensive Player of the Year. Look at this. Kyler Murray, now your favorite at plus 700.
You know what? I would jump on that if the season was 3 weeks, but guess what? It's not. I'm from Missouri, and him and Kingsbury got to show me that they can finish. I thought they were headed to a playoff berth last year, and for whatever reason, the train got off the track. I don't like that play because I think they're still going to get turbulence, but I'm not being a homer here. I'm going to Texas, and I think what Dak Prescott is doing and the way that Kellen Moore is calling that offense, I just think 40 or 35 points a game is what Dallas is going to be staring, win or lose. I like Dak Prescott on Offensive Player of the Year, Dibs.
Yeah, you're getting 18-1 right now, Goo, which is a pretty good price. Kyler Murray is plus 750, which is basically 7.5 to 1. Mahomes and Stafford 8 to 1. Wow. Rodgers, Brady, Josh Allen 10 to 1. Herbert is 12 to 1. Then it's Wilson and Dak at 18 to 1. Derek Carr 25 to 1. Goo, might that be a good place to throw some chicken, because the all-time record for single season passing yards is Peyton Manning, about 5,500 yards. That record's going down this year, and if you break that record, Derek Carr's your league leader. If he breaks the record and they're a playoff team, he might walk off with the MVP at 25 to 1.
And here I go betting against him Monday night because I don't believe what I'm seeing. But the music, the sweet music he's making with Ruggs the third, Renfro, they are balling. And Derek Carr was my second pick, Dibs. If he can keep this up, I don't expect him to, but we seen this in when he broke his leg, 2012, if I'm correct, he was an MVP candidate.
Yeah, he had a terrific year that year, and ultimately it just didn't quite work out for him. But this year, if healthy.
That was 16, right, when we went to Reno.
Man, is it that long ago?
Yeah, when who quarterback for them against Houston? I forget.
It was Cook. Was it Connor Cook?
Yeah, God, we were rooting for him. Yeah, so 16 when the Carr had a great year. And then he got hurt.
Well, the only guy who had a better game than Connor Cook was me driving us home in the snow that day.
You saved my life. I tell my wife every day.
Yeah, shout out to Dibber Claus behind the wheel of an SUV. It was a white knuckler. Well, go get your pen out because it's time for Dibber Claus to give out his golf.
And I'm always asked why, Dibs. Be ready.
No, I'm ready. Actually, I took some notes this week knowing full well. We got the Sanderson Farms tournament, Goo. Sanderson Farms. Our first pick is a guy that most people have not heard of. He's a rising star. His name is Mito Pereira.
Wow.
Mito,
Okay.
Mito Pereira, Pereira. He's Chilean. He almost got a medal at the Olympics. He was third in Napa, plus 3,000, Mito Pereira.
I was just going to ask when he last performed. So when you say rising star, I was like, okay, he had to be on the side. So he had a good showing in Napa.
Yeah, terrific showing. He took third to our guy, Max Homa.
Okay.
He's a real good young player. He actually won 3 times on the lower tour to automatically qualify for the PGA Tour. He's an up-and-comer, and he's plus 333 for a top 10 finish. So if you want to top 10 him, plus 333. Our second choice, Keegan Bradley. He's plus 3,300, 33-1 to win it. He's 4-1 for top 10. Last year, he was in the hunt all tournament long. He finished in the top 10. He's the kind of guy who does well in these fall events. Keegan Bradley is our second choice.
All right. And my question on that, Dibs, where is this being played? This course?
Sanderson Farms. I think it's Jackson, Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. My mom's from Mississippi. Rest in peace, Daisy May. All right.
Oh, that's nice. It's something pulling at the heartstrings for you. Something certainly close to home. I believe it is. Let me confirm.
Okay.
That it's
Jackson,
Mississippi. Yeah, Mississippi.
Okay. All right.
Beautiful. One more for you, Goo, before we hit you some soccer on our way out. And it's Taylor Pendrith. Pendrith. Taylor Pendrith. He is 66-1, plus 500 for top 10.
Damn.
This course is unique because if you're a big hitter, you don't get punished because the fairways are kind of wide. But if you play from the fairway, like most courses, you can really do damage. Taylor Pendrith is a mix of power and accuracy. His game fits the profile for this course.
Has he won yet, Dibs?
No, he's not won on tour, but and that's why he's 66-1.
Okay.
He's a bit of a shot, as we like to say.
Yeah, I like the 66-1. Nothing wrong with taking a chance there. Sounds like he got a little John Daly in his swing too.
Yeah, he's got some power, but he also is a guy who can perform at these type of courses. Just a couple soccer picks for you before we step out. Liverpool and Manchester City Sunday in the featured game. It's the last game before the NFL starts. Liverpool and Man City. It is at Liverpool. We're going over 2.5, 3. We're expecting a lot of goals. These are the two most talented offensive teams in the Premier League. So we're going over 2.5, 3 in that game. And we're also going to bet Chelsea in a bounce back. They lost last week against Manchester City. We're going to give the goal and a half. We think that they're going to roll Southampton. Chelsea's playing back home at Stamford Bridge. So over Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea minus a goal and a half.
I got to say, Dibs, I wrote them down. I'll place them. I'm a little disappointed. No draws this week, huh?
No, we could go for the draw of the day.
Because I love my pluses, right?
Yeah, last week we missed on the draw. We played Chelsea, Man City. That was our big draw. If we were going to play a draw this week, it would most likely be Watford and Leeds, hoping for a 2-2 draw. There'll be goals in that game, but no draw that we really love this week, Goo.
I love it. Let's get this money, Dibs. This chicken.
Time for that chicken, Goo. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, too.